So there are two different types of wreath frames that you might receive. One square and one is a circle. So today we're going to use the circle frame. So we'll put the other one aside. So we have 3 different color mesh. We only need 2. I think I'm going to choose to do the white and the red and white together and match those up. So I'm going to unwrap these and just get them ready for us to start cutting. We also need pipe cleaners, and that's how we're going to attach our mesh to the wire wreath. So next we need to measure the mesh, and we're going to measure out anywhere between 6 and 7.5 inches. For this video I did 7.5. So once you've made your measurement, you can go ahead and start cutting and just cut straight up. You don't need to worry that the cut is perfect because we are going to actually roll the mesh later. So I'm just going to lay this piece on top of the mesh so that I can go ahead and cut. I'm not going to keep using the ruler. So I'm going to use this as a measurement. And I'm just going to keep cutting this until I reach the end of the roll. So just to show you, we're going to take each of these squares and we're going to end up rolling them. So you do not need to worry about having a perfect cut or a perfect edge to each side. This is an example of what it's going to look like. But we're going to go ahead and keep cutting until we reach the end of the roll. So this is the same. We're going to go ahead and start cutting the white burlap now, 6 to 7.5 inches. And I'm going to just eyeball this, and again, just keep cutting until you reach the end of the roll. So we are done cutting and we just need to move on to our pipe cleaners. Our pipe cleaners don't match, but that's okay because you can't see the colors once the wreath is completed. You'll just see them from the back. If you wanted to, you could cut them in half and they'll still be long enough for you to twist and put the burlap to the wreath. So next we are going to start rolling our mesh. So I'm going to roll this white piece and then hold it in my hands, and I'm going to roll 2 more pieces and just layer it on top of each other. And then put the 3 together, and then we're going to use one of the pipe cleaners to tie them together. You can see this is how I don't want to tie it. I'm going to end up switching it. I'm going to untie it and tie it so that the twist is actually on the middle of the 3. So that's one. You can do a couple of different ways. If you wanted to, you could have it where there's 3 of the same type of mesh and twist it, and then you can do that so that you have 3 red and whites together, 3 whites together, and that will change the way that the wreath is going to come out. So you could tie these 3 together, but I'm actually going to keep it where I have 2 whites and 1 red and white, and then do 2 red and whites and 1 white. So you're going to keep doing this for all of the burlap that you have cut. So I'll show you how we are going to attach this to the wreath. Move this out of the way and grab the wreath. We're going to tie this on the middle 2 wires. So tuck them over the middle 2, and then we're gonna twist these shut. And so I'll flip it over and you can see we're just going to keep twisting and just make sure it's tight. Not too tight where you're not going to be able to move it, but tight enough that it's going to stay. So you can see I can adjust it a little bit. The way that it's laying right now is not the way it's going to look when your wreath is completed. It'll start being a little bit puffier once we add more on. So don't worry if it looks like they're straight and that you can see the pipe cleaners. So we are going to keep rolling our mesh and putting the pipe cleaner on there and then just attaching them to the wreath. So now I am just trying to figure out how many of these bundles to put on each section of the wreath. It ended up being some sections had 4, some sections had 5. You can wait until you're completely done with rolling all of your sections and then figuring it out that way. But I like to just kind of do it by sight. And this is how the wreath ended up looking. I'm just going to go ahead and fluff everything up. You don't need to worry that you're going to ruin anything by just grabbing and rearranging. And this is our completed wreath.